Today's lesson is actually a relatively confusing one, or has been in the past. And what we're working with today is we're going to be working on problem solving and writing to explain. And what that means is we're going to be looking at these graphs. We're going to actually be coming up with stories that we can kind of derive or come up with from these graphs. So it says every Wednesday after Della comes home from school, she attends a violin lesson, gets a ride to and from the lesson, and has a snack before going to the lesson. The line graph below gives more specific data about how Della spends her time and how far she travels from her home after school on a Wednesday. Looking at the points that are plotted on the graph can help you decide how Della spent her time. The data can help you write a story about how Della spent her Wednesday afternoon. So what we can see is this. We see this axis talks about distance from her house. So right off the bat, at letter A, at point A, she is 0 miles away from her house. And you can see the furthest distance that she gets away from her house is 3, and that'd be at points C and D. So she starts at 0 miles, and then after a certain amount of time, after 15 minutes, okay, she decides to leave her house. From A to B, in 15 minutes, she's just sitting at her house. And then after 15 minutes, she's like, oh, I have to go to my practice. And she goes to her practice. So you can see how far her practice is away from her house. 3 miles. Because it goes from 0 to 3. And you can also see how long it takes her to get to her practice. From 15 to 30 is 15 minutes. So it takes her 15 minutes to go those 3 miles. And then you can see how long she's at her practice for, because that hops from 30 to 75. So 75 minus 30, or the difference is going to be 45 minutes. So she's at her practice for 45 minutes, and then she comes home. And it takes her a half an hour to come home. For some reason, it takes her longer to come home than to get there. Maybe she stopped somewhere else. And that's what it says by the story. Della comes home and sits and has a snack for 15 minutes. So this is a snack. After she gets a ride to her violin lesson, which is 3 miles away. Her lesson is 45 minutes. And then she gets another ride that takes a half an hour to come home. And that's what I'm saying, right? This creates a story. It tells you how far away she is from her house, as well as how long she spends having her snack, going to her lesson, being at her lesson, and then coming home from her lesson. And that's what you're going to be working with today. You're going to be making stories based on this. We have our example on the bottom that we're going to go through. It says for 1 through 3, use the high school car wash graph. Students at Larkin High School had a car wash to raise funds for the music club. The car wash starts at 11 o'clock. So you can see, right off the bat, at 11 o'clock, this is 11 right there, they've washed 0 cars because, well, it hasn't started yet. And now in the first 20 minutes, from 11 to 11:20, because this is minutes down here, they washed 10 cars. And then another 20 minutes after that, they've now washed 25 cars overall. And all of a sudden right here, letter C, after 1 hour, they've washed 35 cars. And then from there, it becomes stagnant. It doesn't move at all. So maybe they stopped washing cars. Maybe they took a break for lunch. Maybe they closed up shop. Maybe people just stopped coming. So there's a lot of reasons for this, where all of a sudden there's no more cars being washed. But we're going to kind of create a story that kind of fits that narrative. So it says, look at point A. How many cars were washed in the first 20 minutes? So from 11 to 11:20, there was 10 cars. Look at point B. How many more cars were washed in the next 20 minutes? So if this is the first 20 minutes, now we have to see the next 20 minutes, how many cars were washed, and that goes up to 25. But it doesn't say how many cars were washed in the first 40 minutes, how many cars were washed in this 20-minute chunk. So if this was at 10 and it goes up to 25, again, you have to figure out the difference between the two. 25 minus 10 is 15, so 15 cars. In number 3, we have to write a story. So this is where we have to kind of talk about what happened in the story, just like we saw it in the previous example. So we're going to start our story. The kids washed 20 cars in the first, 25 cars in the first 40 minutes. So that's the first part of our story. After that, we're going to talk about from B to C. In the next 20 minutes, they washed another 10 cars. And now we talked about, from A to B, in 40 minutes, they washed 25 cars. Now from B to C, which is another 20 minutes, they washed another 25 to 35 is 10. Now we have to kind of make up what happened from C, D, and E. And that's from, let's see, this is from 60 minutes to 100 minutes. So that's another 40 minutes. After that, they ate lunch for 40 minutes and didn't wash cars. And that kind of creates a narrative. That creates the narrative that this is describing, that there's nothing happening in this 40 minutes. After from 12:40 to 1:20, nothing happened. You could have also said from 11 to 11:20, they washed 10 cars. From 11:20 to 11:40, they washed another 15. From 11:40 to 12, they washed another 10. And then from 12 to 12:40, they washed 0 cars. So if you want to actually use the time, you could. If you want to talk about just how it worked within minutes, you could do that as well. But this is kind of just creating a narrative for graphs. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do on the next page. So if you flip to the next page, which is going to be 14-5, it gives you another one of these. It asks you what do the points represent. And then you have to kind of come up with your own story as to what happened in these points. So you have to create your own narrative, create your own story based on what the data is representing. So that's what I'm asking you to do. If you have any questions, let me know.